We're just waiting for you all to come and join the Rohan Bopanna Tennis Academy.
Good evening. On behalf of RAKS School of Excellence, I take immense pleasure in welcoming each and every one of you to a grand and momentous occasion. The RAKS Tennis Academy brings a fruition to the vision of our correspondent and founder, Ms. Shweta Krishnamurthy. This vision has become a reality and is definitely going to be a sure success with the school partnering with Rohan Bopanna Tennis Academy in its pursuit to make quality training in sports available to young aspirants. Let's give a big hand to this very initiative.
We are extremely honored and fortunate to have among us the legendary tennis player, Mr. Rohan Bopanna, who continues to make the country proud with his tactical performances. Thank you for making this happen, sir. We are honored and proud to be associated with the one and only Rohan Bopanna Tennis Academy.
Also present to grace the occasion is a person, not only a tennis enthusiast even at this age, but also someone very close to the Pallikuram family, our very own chairman, Mr. D. Krishnamurthy. In addition to being an integral part of the textile industry of the Manchester of India, Mr. Krishnamurthy's interest in sports, especially tennis, had until recently made him take up key roles in shaping the face of professional tennis in this part of the country. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
We are all well aware of the intimate relation we share with a prominent school in Coimbatore, of which we proudly call ourselves an offshoot, and that's the Vidyaniketan. Started by Mrs. Rajani Krishnamurthy, the school is soon to complete 3 decades of educating and empowering the children of Coimbatore. From what I have seen and experienced myself, the school is a pioneer in bringing out hidden talents in the fields of art, humanities, and has also honed the skills of a number of sports persons who took off to great heights following their studies at Vidyaniketan. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome onto the dais Mrs. Rajani Krishnamurthy, correspondent Vidyaniketan. Thank you, ma'am, for your very presence here today. Also a part of the gathering are Mr. Arpan Lakhani, Mr. Harsha, and Mr. Balachandran from Team Rohan Bopanna Tennis Academy, who will be playing important roles in planning and initiating the tennis program at DK Courts, RAKS Pallikudam. In addition, we are glad to have Mr. Dandu representing the Coimbatore District Tennis Association. Thank you all for joining us here today.
And with such eminent personalities among us today, without any further ado, I'd like to speak about the founder of RAKS Pallikudam, Ms. Shweta Krishnamurthy. A professional sports person herself, she is a pioneer in the field of education for the 21st century, blending professional learning into academics, thus changing the meaning of schooling and giving it a whole new form. She has been the pillar of support to players of varied forms of sports and levels of interest and abilities. Many children are undergoing intensive training at the RAKS Badminton Academy in partnership with Badminton Gurukul, an initiative by the badminton stalwart Pulela Gopinchand, and the RAKS Football Academy affiliated to the Raman Vijayan Football Academy. And we look forward to many more joining the Tennis Academy too. Ms. Shweta, I request you to address the audience and take over the launch of the RAKS Tennis Academy in partnership with the Rohan Bopanna Tennis Academy. Over to you, ma'am.
Happy evening, everyone. On behalf of RAKS community, I take this opportunity in welcoming India's tennis icon, Mr. Rohan Bopanna, and Team RBTA. We consider it a true honor and privilege to have you with us, sir. As our sports partner in enabling and championing tennis under the banner of RAKS Foundation. A special welcome to our chairman, my father, Mr. D. Krishnamurthy, who was instrumental in instilling and encouraging the love and passion for sports in his children. The milestones which we have crossed and which we are envisioning to cross sprung from the seeds sown by him. We extend a warm welcome to our founder director, Mrs. Rajani Krishnamurthy, a renowned educationist. Mrs. Krishnamurthy heads a couple of CBSE schools under the banner Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions in Coimbatore. Badminton has been her forte. Her family's connection with tennis dates back to the year of 1957. In that year, Mrs. Krishnamurthy's family had one of the first few tennis courts in Coimbatore, popularly known as the DPF courts. They were also one of the first few to have got an international coach under the name Mr. Noor Mohammed from Pakistan, who has also played Wimbledon those days, to train the city's passionate tennis players. Welcome on board my brothers, couple and Prithviraj Krishnamurthy and family, Mr. Dandu from Coimbatore District Tennis Association, Mr. Manoj Kumar, a passionate tennis player from Coimbatore, our special invitees for the evening, media, parents, and students. This quest to have our exclusive sports facilities began in 2016. Until then, we were conducting our training sessions for learners in rented spaces. As many of you are well aware, our sports arena is designed and put together by Lens Sports Bangalore. RAKS Palikudam was started with the vision and passion of balancing sports and academics, mainly to break the myth that a child can excel only in either sports or academics, not both. As a school, we believed that we could create an environment where children are not asked to make a choice between sports and academics, but are shown that they can do both and excel in both. We do understand that every child choosing sports cannot be made a champion, but as a former tennis player rightly quoted, sports teaches you character, it teaches you to play by the rules, it teaches you to know what it feels like to win or lose, it teaches you more about life. There are several skills which a learner of the 21st century needs to inculcate and sustain: critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, team building, creativity, analyzing, and strategizing in order to achieve the common good are some such skills. Being engaged in a sport ensures that these skills are developed and applied by students in all life situations. Sports is not only about enabling champions, it is about celebrating the process of growth, the blossoming of a person who hereto was unsure, but now is sure and confident, who now demonstrates self-awareness and resilience, who is not overwhelmed, but strives to overcome. Having partnered with the country's best for badminton and soccer, badminton, we have joined hands with Badminton Gurukul, an initiative of Mr. Pulela Gopichan, Chief National Coach for the Indian National Badminton Team. And for soccer, we have partnered with Mr. Raman Vijayan Soccer School, the initiative of Mr. Raman Vijayan, former Indian footballer and the current manager of the team. Working towards this vision in mind, we are privileged and humbled to partner with the esteemed Rohan Bopanna Tennis Academy in inspiring, nurturing, and coaching our young talent and learners from Coimbatore, thereby enabling their holistic growth and development. We are glad that parents, mentors, media, our special invitees, our well-wishers are here with us today in welcoming the distinguished guest of honor, Mr. Rohan Bopanna, on this noteworthy occasion. Now, I request Mr. Rohan Bopanna, Mr. D. Krishnamurthy, Mrs. Rajini Krishnamurthy, and couple and Prithvi Krishnamurthy and family to virtually inaugurate our DK courts at the very own RAKS Foundation in RAKS Palikudam, Coimbatore, which has been dedicated to our chairman, Mr. D. Krishnamurthy.
Now that our courts are virtually inaugurated, we have the pleasure to invite all aspiring tennis enthusiasts to avail the opportunity at hand. I am honored to invite the chairman and founder director of RAKS Palikudam to say a few words on this occasion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the panel. I consider it as a privileged honor in welcoming Mr. Rohan Bopanna, the tennis ace of our nation. Mr. Rohan Bopanna has achieved many laurels to our country in Davis Cups and other tournaments world over. He has been considered as one of the most erstwhile sons of the soil and has been awarded the Arjuna Award in the year 2010. Again, he has been nominated for the Champion of Peace and Sport by a Moroccan organization in the year 2010 for the main reason of bridging political differences through sports and peace. He again has been awarded the Arthur Ashe Humanitarian Award in the year 2010. Above all, the most prestigious award has been honored by his state, the state of Karnataka, the Ekalivan Award in the year 2015. I have great pleasure in welcoming you, Mr. Rohan Bopanna, for this tennis academy, and your services and guidance will be of great use to all the Coimbatorians, especially the tennis fraternity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your words are a great source of inspiration to the aspiring sports stars watching us today.
And now, with our focus on the chief guest, Mr. Rohan Bopanna, an Indian professional tennis player who has represented Team India at the Davis Cup and the Olympics, having been in the team ever since 2002.
Tejas and I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Rohan Bopanna when he visited our school recently. His encouraging notes and tips gave us an overview on how we should go about with our future, keeping our tennis career in mind. He was happy to know that our institution has a good number of student athletes and was also appreciative of the school environment we are in. I request Mr. Rohan Bopanna to share his thoughts on this partnership and introduce his team to us.
Good evening, everyone. Really pleasure to be with you all here today. Mr. Krishnamurthy, thank you so much for that lovely introduction, and mainly, for being such a lover of sport. I think that is where everything starts from. Ms. Shweta, I'm also very happy to see the passionate side from you, keeping such young talent, giving them the positive note of encouragement in sport, and that's already a biggest thing from our team at RBTA. I'd like to also give a big thanks to all the media who's present here, all your friends and everyone in Coimbatore. My dear friend Len is here, who is a professional hockey player, who introduced me to everyone at the RAKS Pallikodam school, and I was really happy to be part of this program, because I really feel that Coimbatore has always had tremendous talent, from many years. One of the talented players here, Mr. Manoj Kumar, is sitting here. He's been on the Indian circuit and international circuit doing for a long time. He was way before my time. He was playing at a high level. So for me to come back to Coimbatore and give an opportunity for the grassroots development, I really thought this will be really special. And it is special because it's the first development academy outside Karnataka, for the RBTA Academy to have started this. One of the main reasons I feel to start in Coimbatore was, I think that there's a lot of students there with tremendous talent, but lack of opportunity. We at RBTA really believe to have a structured program in place. Our head coach, Mr. Balachandran, is also very much here. The coach who will be heading the Coimbatore team will be Mr. Arpan Lakani. He has been with us for the past 3.5 years running the program. So he knows day in, day out of what kind of structure we need, what program has to be run. So he will be moving with the entire team to Coimbatore to start this program. But having said that, me personally also, when I was there, I saw the facilities there. Being part of the school, it also encourages me to see that when kids come to school, they get the opportunity to watch young talent training there and maybe get inspired and start up tennis as well. There's already a good team focusing on the football and badminton, so it's nice to be part of the same group. I'd like to invite Mr. Arpan Lakani to say a few words about the coaching program we are going to start in Coimbatore.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rohan Bopanna from Mumbai, and I've been coaching for last 11 years. I've been a national level player, and me and Rohan have played along with each other on the circuit. And luckily, we connected again during the Shanghai Masters, where I was working there with an academy, which was the official Shanghai Masters. And he asked me if I could. I headed the center in Bangalore with the experience of running own center from 3.5 to taking over in Coimbatore and at the man potential over there. Also, having a good team would really help in making a wonderful program. So thank you so very much.
We are truly grateful for your wise insights. We have amongst us Ritin Pranav and Samiksha Dabas from RBTA. I request them to talk about their experience of training at RBTA and how they manage a routine shuttling between school and tennis.
I think Ritin can go first.
Hi, I'm Rohan Pranav. I'm student of grade 9 and I have joined the sports school last September. And I find it very convenient and easy to balance my academic and my training. The school is more focused to give importance for both academics and sports in equal proportion. We players have flexible and convenient timings to attend special classes and assessment during our tournament and traveling and touring schedules. We have all the teachers and the sports coaches in standby to help us when we miss our regular classes and training schedules. And moreover, all the coaches are very experienced and professional. And they customize training schedules and fitness schedules to every player's need. Seeing the progress we are having, many other players have joined the school this academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritin. Samiksha, would you like to go next?
Yes, sir. Hi, I am Samiksha Dabas. I'm in grade 9th in RBTA. It's been an awesome experience with RBTA. Everyone here is very supportive, is filled. Everyone, entire campus, sorry. Yeah, it's been an awesome experience with RBTA. Everyone here is so supportive. Entire campus of RBTA is filled with some kind of positive vibes. I enjoy every moment in RBTA, whether it's my game or academics. Every coach here is so supportive. I never feel like that I am away from my home. Even I enjoy more in RBTA than my home. What happened earlier was that I never had a balance in my academics and sports, but RBTA gave me such a beautiful platform which helped me to maintain both of the things. So I want to conclude by thanking Rohan sir for creating such a prestigious institution and admitting me here. Thank you, Rohan sir. Thank you, everyone.
For everyone who probably didn't know Ritin and Samiksha, they are ranked #1 in India and their respective under 14 categories. So these kids have been with us for the past 1.5 years now. So similarly, what we have in Bangalore, it's a great opportunity for us to do something in Coimbatore along with the RAKS Pallikkodam school. And I feel it's not only for Coimbatore, but even the entire state. It gives us a good opportunity to help these young kids, to give them proper training, what is required to become champions in going further. And also, I'd like to introduce Mr. Balachandran, who's going to really be there, part of overseeing this entire program, and he's going to give a little more suggestion on how we are going to go ahead with this in Coimbatore.
Good evening. Yeah, I can. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'm sure everyone here is a tennis lover, so I think I can easily address you as good evening, tennis lovers of Coimbatore. I have my connect with Coimbatore is very, very old. I grew up in Pollachi, which is not very far from Coimbatore. Some of you here, like Mr. Krishnamurthy, Mr. Sadasivam, Mr. Manoj, will know my background and where I started and where I play tennis. So personally, for me, to be part of this function is it's very exciting, because we have a tennis activity coming up in Coimbatore, which is because in my younger days, Coimbatore tennis was pretty huge, and like Rohan mentioned earlier, we had such good players like Manoj coming from there. So for me, they were all huge inspiration, and we players from Pollachi and other areas used to look up to players from Coimbatore. We used to come there for tournaments, we used to come there for training. So right now, to know that we have a new facility coming up in Coimbatore itself is personally a very exciting feeling for me. And in sports in India right now, a lot of parents are looking at it as a profession to consider. In nowadays, sports was just pastime. You study, and then if you have time, you play. So sports wasn't really an area of focus. But now a lot of parents are keen to let their children play the sport they're good at, or sometimes even the parents want the child to play. But anyway, there's a lot of attention to sports. And having said that, every player who's aspiring to be a top-ranked world-class player may not make it, but there are many other options in sports as well, which is when they can become good trainers, good psychologists, even data analysts, even coaches. So sport along with education is a phenomenal combination. It cannot be, it need not be separate. It's hand in hand. In fact, Andre Agassi once said, education gives a child options in life. So whatever sport you are good at or not good at, but if you have the education to go along with, the combination will make sure the child has a very successful future. And Shweta herself, being a sports person, knows the advantages of being playing a sport, and she has created all the facilities in RAKS Pallikudam. I've been there, so I know the sports facilities along with the education, and the children have the option to pursue a field of their choice. So these kind of facilities in nowadays, I'm sure Manoj will agree, wasn't there at all. So to see that come up in Coimbatore is really encouraging, and I hope many others will follow what Shweta is already set up in Coimbatore region. And coming to our RBTA program, because the tennis program will be run by RBTA, as you all know. The main focus for us would be, as Rohan already mentioned, will be on the fundamentals and the basics. We would like the child to start with and learn the sport. So we want them to learn the sport the right way without losing the fun element of it. Because only if the basics are good and then they enjoy, as they get better, we can easily build on it. And our program, we have taken the best practices which are followed by ITF and a few other national federations like Canada and UK, and we have incorporated it, and our team of coaches will follow that. So it is a challenge because it is new. In Bangalore, we already used it, and we have seen success. So I'm very confident that will be successful in Coimbatore as well. And fortunately for me, in this program, we have Rohan heading it, and with his contacts and his network, so we have access to information and resources from anywhere in the world, which is current. I mean, as you all know, at the moment in Wimbledon, we just finished yesterday, the whole tournament, Rohan was helping Denis Shapovalov, who was in the semi-final. So somebody who's working with a player of that caliber, I mean, we know what exactly the child would need to play tennis at a high level. So that's the advantage I consider we have, because we have Rohan with us, and who's also hands-on. He's not just lending his name, but he's very much hands-on, and we work together in Bangalore. And from experience, I know what Rohan will bring to the program. So with this, I won't go too much into this program, because I would like our action to speak more than my words today. So let us do it on the ground, and then that will be self-explanatory then. So having said that, with this program, we would like to popularize the sport of tennis in the region of Coimbatore, in Tirupur, Karur, Pollachi, Nilgiris. So we would like to bring, get tennis to be more popular, get more children to try out that sport, enjoy the sport, and we go from there. And as they get better, we will support them, and we'll provide the necessary training or exposure. So that is our main goal. So if we get more children, and in school, when we have a good tennis activity happening, we can get more children to participate in tennis. Once they play the sport, they will enjoy it. And as they enjoy it, we can get more numbers. So as more children start taking up tennis in Coimbatore, I'm sure we will see more very successful and good caliber players coming out of Coimbatore, just like in the past. So with that, I will my small introduction to the program I will end, and I will meet you all on the court very soon in Coimbatore. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Balachandran. Tejas, you could take over.
Yes, ma'am. So, Mr. Rohan Bopanna, we request you to elaborate on what, according to you, would make this a successful partnership, and what drew you towards RAKS.
Hi, Tejas. The most important thing for me is to really give back to the sport. And I really feel, there's tremendous talent here in the country. Coimbatore is one of them who's always produced a lot of talent. But I feel where we need to come in as a RBTA team is to maintain that structure in helping them grow from a very young age. And that is where I think with all our experience there, like Mr. Balachandran said, me being on the tour, I get access to the best of coaches around the globe. So this way we are not only talking to all of them, we're tied up to the best of academies. If tomorrow there is a kid who needs to go, if he's playing a tournament somewhere outside, and then he has maybe a week or two to go and play in some academy. So we have great contacts in order to help them, have a base there when they're playing some tournaments in Europe or US as well. So I'm really excited to be, part of this entire program in Coimbatore. Like I said, it's the first development center. We're starting outside the state of Karnataka. So, I'm very happy to be associated with the RAKS Pallikodam, and really looking forward on this program starting. Unfortunately, with the pandemic happening, we could not start earlier. But having said that, I'm glad today we are launching this program, and really looking forward to starting the tennis there very, very soon.
Thank you, sir. I have a question for Mr. P.S. Sadasivam. Sir, how do you see this initiative changing the face of tennis in the city of Coimbatore, our state of Tamil Nadu, and the country at large? What would you look forward to from the point of view of the tennis association?
Mr. Prem, you need to unmute. Mr. Prem, you need to unmute.
I've been playing tennis for the last 4 decades, and I've seen Coimbatore tennis dominating the Indian scene for a very, very long time. And the broader the base, I think we will produce a champion. I think we, just like Balachandar and Bopanna said, we should make more children take up tennis and enjoy tennis so that we have a broader base from which we can produce a champion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We do hope to see the action happening. Mr. Krishnamurthy, I take this opportunity to ask you a question. I know you are an avid fan of tennis. If you had had the chance to train in such a facility in your early years, how would it have propelled your game?
During my days, we had this many courts to start with. That we had never seen a synthetic court. The first time I saw a synthetic court was when I arrived in the University of Binghamton in 1969, where that campus had 16 synthetic courts. And I didn't know how to play tennis. I was a table tennis player, and from there I shifted to tennis. Facilities were there. I would say that at least I would have come up to the national level. We had good coaches here in the past, when during our times also. There was one Mr. Ramdas and Mr. Muhammad and Mr. Manoj and Mr. K.G. Ramesh. They were all students of. We knew about how to hit a top spin, seeing guys play. And that was when we first saw a two-fisted backhand, which these people played, which was something new to us. So the facilities then was very limited. The tennis courts in Coimbatore came only around 1952-53. And a few clubs had, and then a few private organizations like DPF and Crimson, these people had, and then some colleges had 1 or 2 courts like CIT, which all came later on. So these facilities are not there. Probably, as answering your question, I would have played a decent national level, I think. I don't know.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that, given the opportunities on a platter. One must make the best use of it. My question is directed to Mrs. Rajani Krishnamurthy. Ma'am, being the founder of one of the best schools in the country, you must have come across your fair share of student athletes. With the increase in screen and gadget involvement of learners, that has substantially brought down the sports and competitiveness among the present day children. What would your advice be for parents and learners?
Good evening, everyone. Nice to see Bopanna. Hi, Bopanna. Last week, we were watching you play mixed doubles. And actually, like they introduced me, I think my experience with tennis goes back from childhood, when my father, my uncle, and my cousins used to play in the DPF courts almost every other day. And going for matches quite often. And later, after my wedding, we continued watching tennis. And the interest we had watching tennis was, those days, it was not telecasted in Coimbatore. So my husband and I used to go all the way to Chennai to watch the matches. So that was the interest we had watching tennis. And now at home, I think whether it is Australian Open, Wimbledon, French Open, and US, all of us are glued to the TV. So coming to the question, there's no doubt that sports and academics should go hand in hand to make holistic development in a child. And from day one, we have been insisting in our school that they should learn to balance the co-curricular and academics to be successful. And I think now it's been a challenge conducting online classes and children glued to the system. What we advocate to the parents is to limit the screen time only for studies and maybe 1 hour extra for entertainment. And it all depends on the parents to make available the situation to get them into sports in the limited area. So that's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for that lovely story. Your words are an inspiration to all those who are looking for the right to support and guidance to blend regular schooling with professional sports and training. Further to these inputs we have received from our eminent dignitaries here, I have a question for our founder, Ms. Shweta. Ma'am, what are the attributes that made you choose RBTA? And how well do you think this partnership would help the young tennis talent in our city take their game to the next level?
That's a tricky question. I wanted to give the best in form of badminton, tennis, soccer, and basketball. And while we were talking to people, asking them to take over and coach the talent of Coimbatore, I had visited some of the international schools which were balancing out sports and academics, and the way they had done it, it definitely had to have a school and an academy and a professional academy going hand in hand to make sure that the child was able to balance out sports and academics. So it would only work if it all comes under one banner, was my thought. And considering Coimbatore has always had its best of its badminton talent or tennis talent, right from the last couple of decades. Coimbatore has been on, when it comes to the state or the national level, we have a lot of talent available in Coimbatore. So it was in school, in RAKS, we always believe with, as a proverb goes, we need to thrive with purpose. So our purpose was to give back to the society. And the way that we give back to the society is balancing sports and academics was the vision of the school. So that was our main initiative, and that was the main motto behind the search for getting the best academies to partner with. And now going back with this question, I would like to put forth a question to Mr. Manoj. Mr. Manoj, you do train some of the best talent in Coimbatore. How do you see academics playing a role in sports? Do you see it complementing sports, or do you see it as a challenge of a child finding it difficult to balance out sports and academics? Because we see, or at least I have seen, children give up sports because they have to pursue, because the parents set goals that they need the NEET or the NATA or one of the competitive exams that they need to crack. So have you seen, or have you faced these challenges, and what would your advice be for players who are pursuing this?
Well, first, my congratulations to you, Shweta. Fantastic effort on your part to put up such a fabulous facility in the heart of the city. I've played there a couple of times, and it's really something that the city needs. And my congratulations also to Rohan. I have never met you ever before, but Balu's been a very good pal of mine. We've been known each other almost 40, 50 years now. So it's good that an academy like yours is coming into the city. I definitely think it'll benefit all the children here, and it's nice that you guys are here. Well, coming to the question, Shweta, yes, it's always a tough act to balance both academics and sport, especially with the kind of pressure that children face today. We live in a world where everybody expects quick results. So I think even as a tennis coach, we do feel that pressure when parents expect their child to do incredibly well within a couple of years of taking up any particular sport, not just tennis in particular. But I do feel that academics has a part to play in the role of being maybe a tennis player or a tennis champion. I think it provides you the base to become a better player. You understand things a lot more better. So I do feel it is possible, and it's something which is definitely needed. Academics and sport need to go together. And I guess with the kind of changes that are happening in the world today in terms of sporting academies providing facilities for education and everything else, I think it's a very doable thing. And one thing which is very heartening to see is that more parents are now willing to put their child into sport and try to make it as a career option. So I think it's a good thing that you're doing it, and my best wishes.
Answering that, I think some of the tennis players whom we had in Coimbatore, for example, KG Ramesh and even Manoj Kumar, they were very, very good students. They used to do fare very well in college days, and they were in the top 5%. And even when KG Ramesh was seeded number 6 in India, he was an engineering college student. He was able to mix both. But for that, the student has to be super intelligent to combine both of these things, especially in a professional college. It was very creditable with these two people who did very well, actually. And then they have produced a lot of very good players as well.
Thank you, sir. Back to your Tejas.
We are now feeling even more confident of taking up the balancing act. Mr. Arpan Lakhani, I am curious to know something. What are the challenges you have faced as a tennis player and as a coach who has worked under 2 elite academies?
Challenges which I have faced are always going to be the studies. But luckily, my parents were very supportive, and that's what helped me out in moving ahead. And yeah, coaching, of course, what we focus on is focusing more on quality. We're not bothered about getting more quantity. So that is something which we always have done, and that's the reason where the team plays a big part. So as I mentioned earlier, like with Balu sir, Rohan and myself, and of course with the great team and an experienced team, it's always going to be great in shaping up the young talent.
Nice to know, Mr. Arpan. Thank you for taking that point. Established in March 2016, RBTA has always wanted to do the best for the future of tennis by offering scholarships to great talents around the country. This is what makes RBTA a perfect match for us RAKsters. Being a part of RBTA would ensure that children would receive high caliber training. We have amongst us Mr. Harsha, who is the development officer at RBTA. Mr. Harsha, I request you to take over the program and share the program details with our viewers.
Thank you, Jeshnu. Thank you for the opportunity to be speaking here. Well, I'm Harsha. I manage Rohan's business. And in terms of tennis pedigree, I think I'm a rank junior compared to all of you here. I've probably played tennis for the last 10 years of my life, and I'm a pretty decent doubles player, that I can say. But I have a lot of passion towards the game, and I've been following it for the last 35 years at least. So that's where the love of the game, and we're trying to take tennis across the country. And that basically aligns with Rohan's vision. He's always wanted to give back to the tennis community. And when Rohan and I sat down, he was very clear that, we have a lot of focus already with tennis centers across the main cities, the metros. But what we need to do is start taking the tennis programs to the tier 2, tier 3 cities, where there are a lot of kids who want to learn, and we need to give them the opportunity and scholarships if that may be the case. So what we want to do at RBTA is very clear: provide kids with the best training experience, give them professional guidance and mentorship. Our 3 tenets are basically fitness first, the right basics, and playing smart. Right? So if I have to elaborate on that, it's a very simple thing. We want to nurture children with the best of physical foundation. So today, if they want to choose tennis, they might want to do that. or if they want to pick up another sport, they could go that way as well. As long as your foundation is in place, I think you'll be able to find your way in any sport. We want kids to enjoy the game and find it exciting. So we've got a good set of coaches. We've got a good team who's put together a great curriculum, which not only starts off kids well, but also we watch over the kids over a period of time as we have a certain plan in place for their development. In addition to that, we cannot forget that Rohan is always there as a mentor to us, to the program. He himself put together this program and is always available as a counsel to parents, because parents become a very key cog in this whole wheel. Of course, I don't think I need to elaborate on that. And he's there to help them, guide them in terms of how they should be handling tennis for their wards. Last but not the least, we have a very strong focus on the mental aspect of the game. We also are very dedicated towards physiotherapy and injury recovery, because you know that is an important aspect for any athlete. Now, all this put together, what we are trying to achieve is give the country a quality tennis program. And I'd like to thank Shweta and your family for giving us this opportunity for bringing it to Coimbatore. This is a historical day for all of us, basically because, like Rohan said, we're stepping out of Karnataka and we're going to a smaller town and trying to make a difference. So we'd congratulate you as well. And again, thank you for the opportunity. And we really look forward to setting up a good program there and kicking it off at the earliest. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Harsha, for those details. I really hope this tie-up attracts RAKsters to pursue a career in tennis. I would like my friend Tejas Kanda to propose the vote of thanks.
This has been quite an eventful evening. To say I have enjoyed it would be an understatement. I would like to use this opportunity to thank Mr. Rohan Bopanna and the entire team of Rohan Bopanna Tennis Academy for gracing this event, Ms. Shweta Krishnamurthy for giving us the opportunity to have this wonderful interaction, and Ms. Purnima for helping us coordinate this event. This interaction has helped us get a better idea about RAKS Pallikudam's vision and aim to produce model student athletes who do equally well in sports and academics. On that note, I would now like to invite the journalists to shoot their questions at the panel.
Do we have any questions coming up from the media partners who are here with us today?
Rohan, this is Doipan from Times of India. How many coaches will be there when you start the program, and when is it likely to start? When is the likely starting date?
Hi, Doyapan. Actually, the likely starting date was going to be in April, but unfortunately, the pandemic didn't let us, start then. But we're going to start, right away from, the first week of August itself. We have Arpan, who's going to be heading this center, and there's going to be 4 other guys with Arpan who are going to be part of the team. And so this same team has been in Bangalore, and the entire team is moving to Coimbatore. So they're very well experienced. They know exactly how the program has been running for the past 4 years now. So, I'm excited that the fact that as soon as we go and the kids from the day one, we can start a program right away.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of our RAKS family, we take this opportunity thanking everyone for having taken your time off this evening. Thank you, Mr. Rohan and RBTA. Looking forward to a successful and progressive journey. Thank you, Mr. Manoj. Thank you, Mr. Prem. Thanks, Mrs. Gayatri Deepak, our advisor on board. And a big thanks to the media partners who are here with us today. Thank you.
We're just waiting for you all to come and join the Rohan Bopanna Tennis Academy.